This is Bourbon, Double Blind.
Hey guys, welcome to the introductory episode of Bourbon Double Blind. My name is Brandon, and I'm one of three people that helps run the Bourbon Society of Indiana. The other two being Jackie Moore and the founder of the group, Emily Powell, who also happens to be my mother's best friend. So, a fun little connection there of how our group got started, which I'll get a little bit more into as we go here. Um, so, Emily started our group probably a year and a half, 2 years ago now, um, right at the height of the pandemic when we didn't really know what was going on and we were all kind of stuck at home, depending on where you lived, I guess. But she was looking for a way that we could all still connect with bourbon and tell each other about bourbons we tried or maybe bourbons we found or were able to order at the time and get sent to our homes. So she started a Facebook group. And since then, it's grown pretty drastically. But for a long while, it was really just, I don't know, 10, 20 of us, kind of family, friends, and people that we knew or that we had met around bourbon. And then it grew to about 100 people, and that stayed pretty constant around 100 for, I don't know, another 6, 8, maybe 12 months even. And then we've had this massive kind of rocket ship of membership now where we have probably close to 1,200 members now. We just finished up our first event, which sold out pretty quickly. We had 75 people. And one of my favorite things about bourbon in general and the event we had was that you're able to sit next to somebody that you've never met. And if both of you have an appreciation for this stuff, this brown stuff in our glasses, you have an instant connection. And I think that's really important. And it's great just to be able to sit next to somebody or walk up to somebody and be able to talk um, just because of this brown stuff in our glasses. I think that's really cool. There's not many things that do that in life. So yeah, as the group's grown, there's about 1,200 members now. We were trying to find other ways that we could help connect people with bourbon and whiskey. So here we are, this Bourbon Double Blind podcast show, whatever you want to call it. And the idea is that we're going to have at least myself and one other person, hopefully two other people, so that I'm just kind of the host and the facilitator. But we'll have two other people take three samples of bourbon or whiskey, um, swap them with somebody that lives near them, and be blinded to what the heck is in those three bottles they just got. Right, so we'll have a true double blind in the bourbon and in the spirits world where you don't know the bottles the other person has at their home, and you don't know of those bottles what you're about to drink in your glasses. And with that, we want to again, connect people with bourbon and whiskey, but we also don't want bourbon and whiskey or that world to be intimidating to anybody. So we don't care if you've been into bourbon for a week and you own three bottles of bourbon or whiskey. We don't care if you've been into bourbon for the last 25 years and you have hundreds of bottles. We want to make this as welcoming as possible. And again, just get more people at the bourbon table and connect people with this brown stuff in our glasses. So once we've swapped samples, or two people have swapped samples, we'll get on here for about, I don't know, 30, 45, maybe 60 minutes, depending on how good of a time we're having. Um, and we'll go through those samples. We'll answer some fun questions to help everybody get to know each other, hopefully have a few laughs. And as we're going through that, at the end, we're going to have them rank those samples 1 through 3. And I think this is a great idea because you're not oohed and awed by the label on the bottle. You're able to just sit there and enjoy that bourbon. And you can enjoy it however you like. We don't care about that either. We don't care how long you've been into whiskey or bourbon. We don't care how big your collection is. We don't care how you're going to drink it on here. If you want to mix it with Coke or soda, have at it. If you want to drink them neat, that's how you like it, drink it that way. If you want to mix up some old fashions using those three samples, great. As long as we're all on here enjoying some whiskey, whichever way you like to enjoy it, that's what we want here. If you guys are interested in doing that, the outro of the show will tell you how to get in contact with us. And I appreciate you listening in to our introductory episode. And I hope you'll be back for our first full episodes. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you would like to be a guest on an episode, email us at podcastbdb@gmail.com. You can also find our group on Facebook at the Bourbon Society of Indiana. Until next time, we hope you find something that tickles your taste buds. Cheers!